Yo, yo, yo. The world on top like a spinning top. Lopsided by the sleep. The ops slide in, not mitten out. Stealing for keeps. These lines on for the week. Wait till the weekend to catch the simile. Wordplay my version of Serene Pity. The stars spell out your name in Morse code. Crossroads where decisions are made. I chose the chalice instead of the blade. Drinking wine out the gold cup because I perform well on stage. Layering to these ley lines, connecting us no matter the age. Laying lines to break the youth out of the cage. The recipe to clearing your energy is burning your sage. Some struggle to understand this concept. All right, I quit. Yo, 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 man, what's good, everyone? Happy Friday, man. Sending y'all mad positive energy, sending y'all love. You already know it's a good day. Venusian Day, Venus Day. You know, Rocket Green, I did earlier this morning. Got to show Venus some love. You know, love, creativity, art, beauty, relationships, etc., etc., etc. Before I even get into this random YouTube video, let's take a deep breath to become present since it's a gift. Do you feel me? Welcome to the present time. So, right now, I want to speak on string theory, right? First of all, I am completely new to this subject for the most part. I mean, not even for the most part. Like, I genuinely am completely new to this subject. And I think it's not going to be a long video, probably around, I'll say about 7-8 minutes. And it's just interesting learning about string theory because one thing that I've been racking my brain around a lot is, for some reason, my guys want me to speak about, they want me to speak about the different type of brain states and how to access these brain states. I say to a degree, but generally how to access these brain states. So before I even get into string theory, so, this probably is not going to be 7 to 8 minutes now that I think about it. This is kind of on the whim. You all just got to work with me. All right. So number one, the brain accesses different states, which leads you to different states of consciousness. It actually is the practical version of consciousness itself, to a degree. So the first brain state is actually epsilon, I believe it's called. And I'm going to touch on that. That's confirmation if you heard my watch. Most people don't know about this, at least from what I've learned so far, because this brain state was just, really, for some reason, I'm drawing a blank on a vocabulary. But basically, people just found out about this. Researchers just found out about this brain state. It's called epsilon, and it's from 0 hertz to 0.5 hertz, right? And basically, hertz is cycles per second, and your wave is kind of like not your wave. Your brain is like a radar, and it has a pulse that sends out a wave around the brain, not in one direction, but it sends out like a wave around your whole brain and your whole auric field, right? So cycles per second for epsilon is 0.5, 0 to 0.5, right? So basically little to zero brain activity. It's basically when you're in this very sleep-like state. You know that state to where like you're conscious that you're not asleep, but you're very close to being really like sleep. That's kind of that state. It seems like. After that, which is really one of the most common brain states that we know, and there's 4 of them that people know about, and I'm about to get into them, is the delta state. The delta state is from 0.5 hertz to 3 hertz. And after delta, there is theta. Theta is, I want to say 3 hertz to 8 hertz. And after theta, there is alpha. Alpha is 8 to 12 hertz. And after alpha, there is beta, and beta is 12 to 36 hertz. All right. Now, those 4 outside of epsilon are the most common brain states. And I believe, it's alpha. Alpha is the most common state we are in throughout the day. So the reason this is important is because excuse me, y'all, I just got done eating. Make sure you drink your water too. Let me drink some water. So when you access different brain states, it allows you to do multiple things, but it's honestly a conscious level. It speaks to the consciousness, how aware you are of certain things, different aspects, and what's going on around you, and really being aware of synchronicities and things along those lines. Now, where it gets really interesting at is when it gets to the gamma state, because this is where it's not talked about as much. And I got this information from Greg Braden. Shout out to him. His show is Missing Links, and he talks about the gamma brain state is from 36 hertz to 44 hertz. After gamma is hyper gamma, which is 44 hertz to 100 hertz. And after the hyper gamma, it gets to lambda, which is 100 hertz to 200 hertz. Now, I'm pretty sure there might be more, on top of that, but so far that is what I know about and what I heard from him. So it's very interesting because epsilon, which is again no brain activity to very little brain activity, to lambda, which is a lot of brain activity, is 100, 200 cycles per second. They both achieve the same level of consciousness, just in a different way. So it's just one being super awake and super active, and the other one is, again, very little action to no action whatsoever. But you achieve the same level of consciousness. So it really, not only does it get into consciousness itself, but when you access these type of brain states, it allows you to learn more efficiently, and it really works on your memory as well. I was listening to some binaural beats yesterday, and it was binaural beats mixed with I want to say it was 528 hertz, which is really good for really increasing your memory efficiency. So I'm gonna be listening to that throughout the month of June and seeing how that works with my brain. But that aside, again, brain states is about different types of consciousness, helps you learn more efficiently, and really just makes the brain in itself more efficient. And I'm pretty sure it affects neuroplasticity in a very significant way. I don't necessarily know how yet, because I'm still studying neuroplasticity when it comes to learning about myelination, synaptic connections, and neurogenesis. So I'm learning a lot about these different things, and it's just very interesting and profound, because it gets to how powerful of a tool the brain is. And one of the things I'll never forget, and shout out to Joe Dispenza for mentioning this, is the brain does not know the difference between what has happened and what hasn't happened. Joe Dispenza mentioned this, and let me go to this book that I'm reading. There's a book, and not necessarily reading, it's an audio book for me, but this book is called I plan on getting Joe Dispenza's book Supernatural soon as well. By the way, give me 1 second. Okay. Maxwell Maltz is the author of this book, which is Cybernetics. That's a phenomenal book too. It talks about the filter in between the conscious and the subconscious mind, and how, at birth, and even really prior to birth to a degree, but at birth, we have this filter in between the subconscious and the conscious, and it is conditioned to switch our positive thoughts to negative. So it takes roughly 21 days, to truly make a permanent change to that filter. So you have to brute force and really use your divine will and create positive thoughts based off of the negative thoughts that it switches to. So you have to brute force that. And when you do that, you're going to have to continue to take action, on keeping those thoughts positive, journaling, positive affirmations in the morning, speaking to your guides and things along those lines. Because it's not easy. It's simple, but it is easy. But it's it's profound, because when you truly understand the subconscious and the conscious mind does not know the difference. Again, it opens up a gate of possibilities that truly are endless. It's infinite possibilities, which is true in itself, even backed by science, because when you think of how our reality reflects, our inner state, our subconscious programming, because our reality is basically a hologram, and it mirrors back our inner state, So when you truly understand that, and understand that if you can imagine something happening, that means it's not even a mere possibility at this point. It literally has happened on another timeline in the same universe. So when you make the choice and commitment to, to that imagination, to whatever you are imagining, you're utilizing the law of attraction to attract that to you. So again, it's not about possibility. If you can use your imagination and you can see it in your third eye, you literally, it's literally already, that's your confirmation that it has happened already. So you can release all doubt at that point. Again, this gets into the subconscious mind not knowing, the brain not knowing the difference between what has happened and what hasn't. So it's just truly profound, because once you utilize that method and put it into practical application, there's no limit on what you could do. You feel me? So that's why I'm learning so much about the brain and consciousness, because it gets into limitless possibilities, and I'm really tapping into that energy. And to be honest, my reality is reflecting that. So I'm gonna continue to do that, continue to put out positive energy, and bring myself into the same energy, as the Billy Carsons, the Joe Dispenzas, the Greg Bradens, the Stephen Greers, the Bob Proctors, the Maxwell Moats and things along those lines. Not just them, not just, speaking, just of a few, the Terrence Howards, you see him, going viral because of what he's speaking about. So shout out to Terrence Howard. And it's just, again, man, it's just profound. I could talk about this for, forever, to be completely real about it. But accessing the different brain states in meditation allows you to tap into different conscious levels. And when you do that, you access different information, more profound information on how the universe works, universal laws. This is where we get into, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the I could say the Enuma Elish, but that's more of like a it seems like that's more not necessarily, I don't want to say religious text, like I'm hesitant to say religious, but it taps into that type of energy. But this is where a lot of the tablets are speaking about, to be honest. It's about the science behind the brain and how we create our own reality. It's talking about different wars going on different timelines. So there's just so much, man. I genuinely enjoy this shit, So I'm very excited to start, putting some of these different brain states into practice. I did a gamma meditation the other day. I did not look up on YouTube and see if they had a lambda one, but I'm going to attempt that. And also a practical way to get to these brain states, speaking to gamma, and I'm not sure about lambda, but I know gamma and hypergamma for sure, is a practical application of doing it without meditation, is showing empathy for someone and compassion. There's like 3 steps to it. My notebook is in my backpack. I just got back from the coffee shop. But you can access that by holding empathy or being empathetic for someone, right? You really understand and feel their feelings. You don't have to agree with a person. And look, holding compassion, because this is where I think some of the hesitation could be with people, is just because, like, when people are doing stupid shit and you don't resonate with people anymore, holding compassion and empathy for them is just really actively saying you can understand their perspective, but you don't agree with it, and you don't have to put yourself in the energy, and you don't have to continue, speaking or being around that person. You really don't. You forgive you forgive yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I mean forgive yourself, I mean forgive yourself for not, for not and when I mean yourself, the concept of yourself, like, so you have you, and yourself is the universe, you know what I'm saying? And then I look at it as yourself with which is in the universe. But with that being said, just honestly, man, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna think too hard about it. Just forgive the person so you can move on. But that doesn't mean forget. It just means you forgive them for what they done, and you're moving the fuck on, and you don't have to talk to them ever again, point blank period. I mean, that's just how I personally approach it. And that's that. You feel me? So hold compassion. And then when you hold compassion, you place yourself in that gamma state. And it's also a state of unity, knowing that everyone is connected, which is literally true. You could look up the twin proton test, where they had 2 protons, which are which are particles of light. They sent them down two fiber optic cables like that, which were 7 miles in length. They both both protons went the opposite direction. And when they basically, to a degree, I think, when I say to a degree, they tickled one proton, and the other proton, which was, like miles and miles apart from the other proton, it reacted in the same exact manner that it did with the opposite proton. And that's because we live in it, it's a hologram. So it's energetically connected to the other proton, which is why unity is such a I mean, once you understand we are in unity, you're not necessarily separate, you're not separated from anyone. It kind of puts you on a different level of understanding. So so yeah, nowhere in be in that unity, conscious state, hold compassion, but again, take no shit from no one, and you're going to be in this gamma state, and you'll start being aware of different signs and synchronicities and things along those lines. So I know that's a lot of information, but it's, I like to put out this information and I like to speak about it because there's not really much people I can speak about this shit to. So I put it out on YouTube. You feel me? But yeah, man, that's really all I wanted to speak about, which is, again, the brain states and and really consciousness to a degree. Soon I'm going to be putting out a video speaking about different UFO experiences and things along those lines, because I've had my share of UFO experiences, especially when I was in Kuwait. I had a really profound one, and I love the UFO space, and I love ufology, and I love the stories behind ufology, because the stories behind ufology, and the conspiracies per se, like UFO, everything revolves around the UFOs, no matter which way you cut it. It revolves around UFOs and UAPs to a degree. I mean, for real. So, that's going to be a video coming soon. I'm still really thinking about how I'm going to do the video. I might just do it randomly, to be completely honest. I just got done reading a quick book. It's like 14 pages. It's called The Shot Across the Bow. And it was speaking about the Big Sur project, which speaks on a UFO energetically stopping a nuclear test, which was at, where was the base at? It was at the Vandenberg Air Force Base. I don't know exactly where that is, but it was at the Air Force Vandenberg Base. This was in 1969 with Bob Jacobs and Lieutenant Mansman, and there was a person named George who worked for the Skeptical Inquirer, and he basically tried to what's the word I'm looking for? I can't really think of the term, but he basically tried to shoot down any credibility that Bob Jacobs and Mansman had. But these were two very credible sources. You can read it on your own. So definitely check that out. It's called The Shot Across the Bow. I forgot. I can't remember the author's name. But yes, I have that video coming up soon. Don't want to make this too long. I'm already at 17 minutes. With that being said, man, happy Friday, you all. Again, happy Venus Day. Wear some green, you know what I'm saying? Show Venus some love. You already know. And I love y'all, man. So with that being said, drink your water, health is wealth. And it's your man, David G, and we out. Gang.